they want to.
And welcome to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo. We have a great show in store for you tonight. We're going to talk about children's books, which we haven't had a children's book author and illustrator on for a while, so I'm really looking forward to it. And folks who've been following the show know I was an elementary school teacher for a number of years, and so I'm interested in different ways to reach children. I mean, it's always an interesting thing to bring technology, and we're going to talk about that today. And this is the book, Vicki's Wish, and Vicki is behind me, and this is her story, and we're going to be talking about it in a few minutes with my guests, who are Angela DiBartolomeo, right? Good, yes. Angela DiBartolomeo and Alex Scollay. How are you doing, Alex and Angela? And they're joining us. We met at basically a birthday party of a friend of ours, Lawrence Van Avema, who's a great illustrator in his own right. And when you showed me the book, when I saw it being passed around at the party, I grabbed it and I said, this is amazing, because I love the fact that you use, and I'm sort of technically, I don't know all these, CGI is this called? Or?
Yes, CGI.
CGI, right? This is the type of computer-generated graphics, which is of interest. It's a new thing, and it's something that fits. It's not just a book, but it's actually on the iPad and on the internet and computers, so it can reach children now through all the different means as well as the book. I mean,
yeah.
You guys, it's cool what you guys are doing. I really was turned on by it, and I'm glad we got to talk about it. So welcome to Let Them Talk.
Thank you.
And let me begin, I guess, by asking you guys how you came up with this idea. Who wants to jump in?
Well, I've been doing this for about 15 years, doing computer graphics, film, TV, commercials, things like that. And I've been working in advertising here in New York for about 2 years. And we wanted to do something different. We wanted to do something using the art form, but for something other than selling chewing gum or what.
Don't worry about me. I'm just going to move your thing here a little bit. Go ahead. Just ignore me.
I just finished a job, and I was feeling particularly frustrated with the lack of creativity involved in my day job, and I thought, and we've been talking about doing a project for a long time, and we just decided one day we were going to do a book. We thought, let's do it. Let's actually make this happen. So we sat around brainstorming ideas, and when I was a kid, I'd had this little dream about, it was just an image of a kid in an attic in his house with a little star glowing, and he had to get the star back to the moon. And we started talking about that, and we started brainstorming it, and then we hit upon the idea of having it being a girl.
Yeah, well, back to the CG thing just briefly, but we particularly see that a lot of children's media right now is created in the CG style. A lot of
CG means computer graphics.
Yeah. Right. So all of those kind of maybe not. I'm not too fluent with all the children's media out there, but a lot of the TV shows are made in this style. So we wanted to do something that would resonate with that and kind of reflect that art form that they're already used to seeing in the animated form on their Saturday morning cartoons, because all of them have been kind of translated to the CG art form. And he did it in his own sort of style, which is very different than a television and TV series. But that was kind of why we thought it would really work for a children's book. So that was kind of where we started with it, because he's had a lot of ideas for adult work, not adult work, but
for adults,
fiction.
As opposed to triple X rated adult, right?
Exactly.
Not that. That's not where we were going to go with that.
The initially, like what I would like to do is comics, graphic novels, things like that. But as a first story, we wanted something simple, like a kid's thing.
Right. No, which I think is wonderful that you thought to do that, because it might not be the first thing that's on somebody's mind, but to reach out to children, it's. Tell us a little bit about how you like each. Let's go through the middle. Now, the reason we were talking about this earlier. Now, the format is what we call 16:9, right?
16 by 9, yeah.
Right, 16 by 9. What's the why is it, from a technical point of view? Why is that a interesting format?
Well, it's the format that movies are made in now. It's like HD TV is 16 by 9. So if you have this TV here, if you get a DVD or see a movie, generally speaking, they're shot in 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So that's 16 across, 9 down in terms of proportion. So basically, we wanted it to feel, even on the page, and it was designed for an iPad, but even on the page, you want it to feel subtly like it's a movie, like you're seeing something in that aspect ratio, so you feel cinematic. So, which is also why it was shot with depth of field and like cinematic lighting techniques, and and things like that.
What kind of computer did you use to do this?
We used a bunch. We started off on my little Dell that I had in my house from Best Buy, and we quickly realized we didn't have enough power to do the thing. Like these images were rendered at 3,000 pixels wide. They've got a lot of things called ray tracing in it, which means the surfacing, the reflections, the light scattering through the skin, the hair, the cloth, every crystal of glass on the sand. There's I think there's like 85,000 palm trees in one shot. So my computer was taking up to 3 days to render one shot. So we started using Amazon's EC2 compute cloud. So Amazon have this thing where you can rent for 25 cents an hour. You can rent one machine with 8 CPUs and 30 gigs of RAM.
Over the air, over the internet.
Yeah,
so you upload the file and
Yeah.
it produces it for you.
Totally, yeah. You configure it yourself, but you can then rent 100 machines for $28 an hour. So I would rent 100 machines and have all the machines combined working on these images. And that would mean instead of taking 48 hours to render one page, it would render in 15, 20 minutes. And then I could like iterate a lot faster and work a lot faster and expand the size of the book too.
Right. And how were you writing this as he was rendering these images? How did you do? Did he do the writing first, the images first?
No, well, we really started with that idea and with a super simple story. The story that we kind of started with was kind of a similar story to The Snowman, that beautiful watercolor, or rather colored pencil drawing book that everybody's sort of familiar with. It was going to be as simple as that, and then it got more complicated, and then we added in a pirate parrot bad guy with monkey henchmen, and they're on a deserted island with a flying pirate ship. So we got a little bit crazier with it than that, but basically the writing process was we started with a simple idea, and then one night at 2:30 in the morning, I was just about falling asleep. I sat up and I said, it has to rhyme. It has to rhyme. And I got up and I wrote about 3/4 of it that night. And then, of course, the last quarter took me the next 4 months to finish. But I got a big chunk of it done that very first night. That was kind of key. Because up until that point, we weren't sure of how it was going to flow, and just finding our voice was really important, and we did with this. And we're not necessarily going to do it in this style for whatever we do next, but...
So it was one of those creative rushes.
Yeah, it really was. It was great, and it doesn't happen very often.
How long did it take to do all this, from conceptualization to having it printed? How long did it take?
18 months.
18 months.
18 months, yeah.
Wow. So tell us, how did you pay for this?
Well, initially, I was freelancing doing commercials, so I'd take that check and then would screw all that aside and then just live off that. But we knew we wanted to get it started with a bang, as it were. So we decided to go with Kickstarter, Kickstarter.com. We crowdfunded it. So basically...
So this is crowdfunded?
Crowdfunded, yeah.
So that's another interesting aspect of this. Not only is it cutting edge in the production of this book, but it's also cutting edge in how you funded it.
Yeah, right? It's a new Kickstarter.
Crowdsourcing. What does crowdsourcing mean for folks out there who don't know?
Well, crowdsourcing is basically, if you have an idea for a creative project, you go to, we use Kickstarter.com, but there's a bunch now, like Indiegogo and...
GoFundMe is for different types of things. It's all different types of causes. Kickstarter is really for creative projects. Indiegogo can be kind of for more causes, like if you want to save the rainforest. I don't really know, but we didn't use them. So, so you get backers, and they can be at all different levels. And it's kind of like when you fund you see the commercials on PBS. Give us $250, we'll give you a case of CDs or whatever, that type of thing. So it was that type of reward-based system for us. So at $1, we sent them a thank you tweet. For $5 backer donation, as it were, we gave them a free PDF of the book. $25, they got a hard copy of the book. $50, they got a puzzle of the image of the book, and that type of thing. So you have tiered reward structure with increasing backer rewards. And the idea of Kickstarter is really appealing. Is if you don't meet your goal that you set, you don't get any money, but also the backers are not charged. So it's quite nice if you're a backer and you have a project that you really have your heart set on. You know that you're not going to be paying anything unless they meet their goal, as opposed to Indiegogo, where you can set a lofty goal of $40,000, and even if you only raise 10, you'll get that 10, so that's more secure in some ways. But on the other hand,
the project might not get made.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's right.
It's more of a risk.
When you're setting your goal, you know that the project will be completed for that amount of money because they've set the goal for a reason. So And also, Kickstarter has the cachet and kind of the hip.
How did you set the budget for this? How did you know what this was going to cost to do? Did you pay yourselves for the labor that went in, or just for the printing and just the printing and all that stuff? So you guys put all your effort in for nothing.
Basically, yeah. I mean,
and
we raised
the cloud to support.
That's actually a good point. Like, it was the cloud rendering it, but also the cloud/crowd is how we funded it. And
the cloud in the crowd, right?
Basically, yeah. Well, in the end, we couldn't have done this without the internet, with what's available now. Like, 2 or 3 years ago, Amazon EC2, the renting massive amounts of computer power for cents in the hour didn't exist. And go into a crowdfunding situation where we can say to the internet, basically, here's our idea, here's a pitch video, here's how we plan to make it, and this is what we want to do. And we asked for $5.5 grand. We asked for $5 grand. We made $5.5.
Right.
And we knew it would cost a bit more than that, but we just wanted to get it started. Literally kickstart it, as opposed to
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
like they say, like on a motorcycle.
Exactly. It literally launched us on this. And the other thing too is, once you're kickstarted, you've taken money from your friends and family, so you have to finish it. You know what I mean? Like, you can say, I'm going to do this, but a lot of projects peter out. So this was like a real incentive to finish.
Right.
There's a lot to Kickstarter. It's not just you start your first push of income from Kickstarter is your friends and family, and then you really have to have your social media going and active.
Yeah, how did you reach out beyond the folks you'd ask for money anyway?
Right.
How did you get out beyond them?
Facebook was really great for reaching out to our friends and family, of course, and but we found that Twitter was really the best resource for reaching strangers.
Yeah, Twitter's
huge. We followed a lot of
important.
Pixar people. We followed, and we got donors from all around the world through Twitter. And the nice thing was, they would start, maybe they fund us in the first week for $5, but then toward the end, since they've been following our campaign and getting excited, they upped their bid to $50 at the end.
How did you tell me about following the campaign? What does that mean? What was your campaign like?
We'd send them updates. If you were a backer, you would get updates from us. We were pretty religious about it. We're 25% of the way there.
But it runs for 30 days too. The other thing is, it runs for 30 days.
You have 30 days to make the money, and you have to make the goal, or you don't get anything.
That's it.
Right.
And it just goes. If you're $1 short, you don't get the money. So, and we were on the last day. We were down to.
We had about,
$4,500, I think.
Yeah, we were at $500 short of our goal, and then Amazon, because all these payments go through Amazon, crashed 3 hours before our goal.
We couldn't get any money.
People were writing to me frantically saying, "We're trying to give you more money, and it's not going through." And so I'm writing to Amazon and writing to Kickstarter, and then literally 40 minutes before as our clock was ticking down, it came back up, and all the money came in, and then
people had already given the money, and it flowed in.
Well, then all of a sudden it came in, and then
that's interesting. That's exciting.
I went for a walk around. I was working in
having an aneurysm.
I was working in Chelsea at the time. I went for a walk, just thinking it's over. We failed. It's not going to happen. And I came back to the office, and it was actually working again. So that was
because it's the most stressful 30 days.
You have to really put your energy into it. That's a secret. That's the secret.
And what we learned is your funding graph kind of goes like this. So you launch your thing, it goes up like that, and then it plateaus for about 2 weeks in the middle of the month. So for about 2 weeks, the money's trickling in, and you're kind of dead in the water, which is a classic Kickstarter profile. Like they say, they warn you, you will plateau. And, but your social media is the way you get through that. I mean, Angela was running that massively. That was her thing. So we would do celebrations, like you said, for like 25%. Here's a new reward for that.
I see.
You drum up enthusiasm. And
how many tweets would you send out?
Well, you don't want to inundate your followers. I mean, just basic Twitter practice. But I would get into conversations with them. People would ask me questions about Kickstarter, questions about the book.
Did you make like a hashtag and?
Yeah, we have hashtag Vicky's Wish. If I didn't go.
But how did you get people in the first place to be?
I created as soon as we had the idea for the book, we created our Twitter, and I started drumming up followers. I started following people, like I said, at Pixar, and like-minded people, like-minded artists, other children's book authors.
And when you follow people, they get your...
and then you write to them, and then you write back, and they follow you back, hopefully.
Banter, joking around, things like that.
And then you kind of make these...
You don't promote your own stuff too heavily.
You don't over-promote yourself, because then it kind of turns them off. But
like once every couple of days or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. That's interesting. Very good to know. Yeah. Now, could you do us a favor and read a little bit from the book?
Oh, sure.
Would you like to just pick it up? Yeah, just read it. Vicky's Wish. This is the book that was crowdsourced through Kickstarter, right? Kickstarter, and it was created on a computer using the cloud, which is basically shared computer power on the internet that you can use. This is, this is things that have happened in the last couple of years. Really, this is very short amount of time. This is the newest thing, and this is the production. This is what they created, which is a children's book. And what I love is that it's on, the children's book is also on your iPad, right?
Yeah,
or whatever that is.
Absolutely, yeah. It was designed for the iPad first.
Yeah, just show folks. It's so interesting.
And so basically, I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, he'll zoom in on it. There
it's very sharp on the iPad.
It's a lot more, it's brighter on the iPad, so you can see. Now this is a good example here. So this on the page looks good, but on the iPad you can really see it coming to life. You've got the the crystals and the fog and the rays of light and the monkeys. All the monkeys have their own individual blades of of fur and hair. The pirate has feathers.
So if you make it bigger and bigger and bigger, you're going to actually see the individual hairs and feathers.
You can absolutely zoom in.
That's amazing.
And I should mention that about half the book was done at a studio in New Zealand called Assembly Limited.
And that's where you're from, by the way.
Yeah, I'm from New Zealand, so hi.
There you
hi,
are.
New Zealand.
Thank you for coming for doing this.
Thank you. It's great to be doing this and showing people finally. Because at one point, you just feel like you're never going to finish this. Because normally a team of people would do this, and this was just me on my own. That's why it took so long. But I couldn't have gone to finish without that studio. Those guys saw the project and went, listen, use our facilities. Yeah, that's your desk. Just go for it. And so that was a huge help.
Oh, great!
But you can see,
so people supported the idea.
Yeah, we've had a lot of support. Like basically, a lot of people we've made friends from doing this. A lot of people saw it, responded, and said, "Look, we'll help you do this."
How about how have children been taking to it?
They've really liked it.
You were mentioning that you showed it to a child on the iPad, and they took right to it. Tell me about that.
My friend Reese, his daughter Sylvie was probably the first 2-year-old to read this, and so she had the iPad.
2 years old.
She was 2 years old.
And she grabbed the iPad.
She grabbed it.
Read it to her.
She had someone read it to her, obviously. But yeah, so basically, she just took control of the book herself. She was paging through it. She was responding to it. It might be a little bit too long for kids.
Right, this is your first children's book.
This is our first children's book. So.
And you made it 38 pages long.
We overshot
when I was in elementary school, my students would either throw me out the window or they would have fired me.
What we found is about 23 pages.
But this is different. But you can't put those same rules on this new technology.
Well, a digital book, and you can
Who knows what it's going to be like.
Exactly. That was kind of what we were thinking with the iPad. And initially, you really did want to make parts of it animated. I mean, that still is our goal for this. And right now, it's still a book, but we do want to make it an interactive, animated type book that the kids are really used to using on the iPad. They touch it. They want things to move.
And things would happen. Even more things would happen. It would become almost like a movie.
Well, that's the idea. And the thing is, this is actually made the same way as a film. So if you see this, this girl is physically a 3D model, the same as what Pixar would do or DreamWorks.
Sure.
She's rigged. She's got full cloth simulation on her clothes. You can grab her arm and move her arm, animate that. The hair moves.
Wow.
And that's all physically there. That's all.
What's the program that you use to do this?
This is all 3D Studio Max from Autodesk, which is used for visual effects.
Same thing that's used for movies.
Right? Yeah, I used to work in movies. That's how I learned how to do this.
Right.
I worked on like Alice in Wonderland 2012, a few other films like that, where I learned how to do this. And part of this was like, I want to do what I used to do for these guys for myself.
And a children's book, what a great idea.
Children's book, yeah. Well,
I've never seen anybody do it. I've never seen it before.
It hasn't really been done to this level. Like this is
welcome to Let Them Talk, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, where you are seeing something that's never been done before. A new technological development.
There you go, yeah.
This one, cool.
This was the image that took 2 days to render. This was 85,000 trees, palm trees. There's fog, there's depth of field, there's 3 million grains of sand. The pixie's got particles coming off her. You got a monkey.
Dust.
Yeah, the monkey's got real blades of hair on him. So this one took a long time. So this one needed a lot of computers to.
Now, tell me more about the art. Like how do you are there do you pick a face from different faces, or did you actually draw it, or?
No, well, it was, we made a 3D girl. Like I bought a commercial model. You can buy commercial 3D models of people. So I bought like a generic human being, and then I spent about 3 months, what we did, iterating, basically going through character design, playing with the size of the eyes and sculpting. There's a program called ZBrush, which lets you, with a computer pen, you can actually sculpt like clay. And so you can shave off the girl's face, and you can resize the eyes and the lips and the mouth and stuff. So we made about 5 or 6 versions of the girl. The first ones were horrific. I mean, I had to learn a lot about character. I had to teach myself a lot of this at the same time. So I had to learn how to do character design. And you learn that the slightest line around an eye, the style of an eyebrow, can change an entire face. So there's a lot of work on her to make her right, to make her look cute.
Did he ever bring one to you and you said, no, we have to start again?
Kindly.
Kindly.
As kindly as I could, because
so
he'd be laboring over it, especially the hair. Hair is it's like the bane of CG existence, you know.
Making
but
it realistic.
Getting her hairline, getting her hair in the right sort of way, and then in the end
that
we
took
just
3
sort
months.
of ended up faking
Just
it,
the hair took 3 months to work out.
Yeah.
Wow.
It drove me crazy. I was like, I was like,
Angela DiBartolomeo and Alex Scollay. Angela, are you going to read us a part of the...
Sure.
Read us a couple of pages. It'd be great. Just pick them up anywhere you want.
Oh, so I'll start at the beginning, and
all
then
right, great.
make everybody want to read the rest of the story, maybe. So the dedication page is for you, Mom. Vicki is Alex's
my mother's name was Vicki.
I see.
I
should have asked that, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
She passed away before. She got me into doing CG actually, but she passed away before my career really.
Right, and that's what it says for
got
you,
together.
Mom.
So this was it's dedicated to her.
Great.
Okay, our story begins on a warm night in June. Young Vicki felt lonely, gazing up at the moon. I wished for adventure, or maybe a friend, something to help make my loneliness end. Just then a bright star shot across the pink sky. Hope my wish will come true, she said with a sigh. She wished and she hoped as she curled into bed. Closing her eyes, she lay down her head. She was sleeping for hours when suddenly crash. Her toys flew all over, it happened so fast. She woke with a start, it gave her a fright. She knew what to do, and she grabbed her flashlight. Out from behind her toys came a fairy. Really, she thought, that's not quite so scary. Hey you, she whispered. Hey, what's going on? Why are you here? She asked with a yawn. I have an adventure, a quest you could say. It takes place in a land that is far, far away. I need someone tall, someone big, brave, and strong. Someone like you. Won't you please come along?
Cool.
There we go.
Now, how can people find it? I mean, we're not selling them here, but where can people find this if they're looking for them?
Well, it's on iTunes. So if you search in iTunes for Vicki's Wish, if you have an iPad or an iOS device, you can go to iTunes, search for Vicki's Wish with VICKIES, and you can buy it for iBooks.
Right.
Or Amazon.com, search on Vicki's Wish, and you'll find it there.
Cool. All right, great. So
If
it's
you
out
want the
there on
hard
the
copy.
internet, just where it should be, right?
Yeah,
Where Vicki
pretty
should
much.
be. She
It's
lives on the internet, right?
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
Right. Excellent.
it's an entirely internet-driven project, really.
Have you tried, are you doing anything as far as distribution? Reaching out to schools or things like that?
We actually have a chain of preschools in New Zealand want to buy a bunch to have in their preschools and also sell in there. They've got stores that sell children's books as well, so they want to sell about 100 to begin with. So
it'll actually be the book.
It'll actually be the physical book, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, right now, January 2014, we're looking at reaching out to people and trying to drive that and trying to push that. So yeah, that's the next stage. Is we're learning as we go too. Like we didn't know anything about self-publishing until we did this. Like at all.
So do you have in your house now, in your apartment, like boxes and boxes of Vicki's Wish?
Well, this is the other cool thing. This is the other cool thing. This is all print on demand. So
print on demand.
These are printed through Amazon. So
what does print on demand mean?
What it means is when I finished the book, I was in New Zealand. I did a 300 DPI PDF, PDF file. You upload that to Amazon. They then turn that into a book. You then proof the book. You get a proof sent out. And then
that's for 300 DPI is the resolution
standard
printing?
Print res, yes. So, which is about 3,500 pixels wide. The images are huge for that. And then...
But it's really nice. This is called the Amazon Create Space, and we can put a plug in for them as well. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
createspace.com.
And if you're an independent publisher and self-publisher and you have an idea for a children's book and you want to put it in, check it out. It's very, very easy to use. And it's really excellent. So you don't have to have 500 boxes of your books sitting around and requiring a whole lot of overhead. Exactly.
I published my own book, and we had it in my friend's house up to the ceiling.
No,
we do have a big. We have one big box we have for ourselves, but I mean, as it is, if you order this, if someone on the internet orders it and they hit purchase, that then goes to a printer, it gets printed. The book gets made on the spot and then shipped out. All through Amazon.com, so
and directly to the person who wants it. So there's no middle person.
So we don't touch it. Yeah,
and then those folks, they send you a check, and the book goes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So actually, just pay as if you're buying a book on Amazon,
and then it's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean, this is like any other book on Amazon. You just go.
I love the idea.
One click order, go done. So for a self-publisher, it's very easy. I mean, it's easy. There's a bunch of caveats in terms of how to format.
18 months of work in creating this wasn't easy.
No, this was really hard.
It was quite hard. Do you think it'll be easier the next time you do one?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now that you've gone through the learning curve.
Yeah. I mean, this was learning everything. Like I had to learn how to do character design, cartoons, how to do rigging, which it means how to make the girl posable, and how the skin folds. I had to do the hair. I had to learn how to do this fuzz on her jacket, her jersey. I had to learn all of this stuff.
Coming to the last couple of minutes. Any projects in the works next? Anything you're working on now?
Well, really, the next thing is to make this into an interactive app, like I said. So we're just going to take this sort of to the next level. We have a couple other story ideas we're thinking about with completely different characters.
So an app means somebody could just download it on their phone or on their iPad.
Yeah, we'll make it an app, an individual app.
It opens up and
it'll narrate. There'll be narration. There'll be character voices. There'll be animation.
Cool.
Like at the end when she activates the moon machine, that spins up. Lightning comes out.
So we're going to see the movie Vicky's Wish.
Oh God.
Somebody wants to buy the movie rights.
Well, 18 months for that. It might take me about 10 years to make. But yeah, if people liked it and it did well enough, absolutely.
We'll see you at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll make a better speech than the ones I heard. All right, great.
All right,
well, thank you very much, Angela DiBartolomeo. Pardon me. My mouth got a little bit. Angela DiBartolomeo and Alex Scollay, who have come here from New Zealand and New York to create a beautiful computer graphic illustrated children's book, which will soon be available on the internet and soon be available as an app, and our kids will have an opportunity to read the type of literature that they love in a form that also informs them on technology and how to use computers. And obviously they're showing us. Sounds like from what you were telling me, a 2-year-old child was showing us.
It was breathtaking. She's just, they're growing up with that. These kids are growing up with the stuff. They're going to learn it at such a deep level compared to how we do it.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Anything you'd like to add in the last 20 seconds?
Check it out on Amazon and iTunes.
All right.
Follow us on Twitter.
All right. Thank you very much. This has been Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo. My guests, Angela DiBartolomeo and Alex Scollay, and Vicki, who's right over my shoulder, who's been watching us the whole time with a big smile on her face, happy to meet us. Thank you, Vicki, and we'll see you next week.